Today we are taking a look at a very rare Coleman lantern. This is a Coleman 202 built in October of 1963. The 202s are pretty rare and pretty sought after. This is an unlit, never been used Coleman 202. In addition to that, what we're going to do when we take a couple close-ups, we'll take a look, and this is a presentation lantern that was presented to Rob Coder by Sheldon Coleman, the second president of Coleman. And we're going to go into great detail on this. We'll start taking things apart and looking at it coming up here just after the break. Today's video is about one specific Coleman gas pressure lantern. Coleman's been building these since 1914. It's really what made the company take off. To put it in perspective, that's much longer than Toyota has been bringing cars into the United States. It's a lot longer than Adidas has been making shoes and putting them on athletes' feet. It's even longer than Keith Richards has been playing for the Rolling Stones. Really, it's true. We're going to take a look at this Coleman. First off, I want to show you if I can find it here. This is marked on the bottom. Here it is. With a B. And the B, I don't know if you can see it. It might be visible in some of my stills that I've got. The B shows that it's a brass font and it's nickel plated. We're across the street from a playground and sidewalk, so there's going to be some noise in the background. And if you can see here, this is signed to J.A. Advisor, Rob Coder, from Sheldon Coleman. These presentation lanterns were usually given to, well, people who did exceptional service, perhaps distributors that were doing a great job with selling a lot of Coleman product. Here we've got the model 202 and the Coleman Made in USA stampings. On the back side here, you've got the old Coleman Sunshine of the Night logo that's etched on this. The unusual, well, one of the unusual things about the Professional, it was made to be very, very corrosion resistant. And what we have is a lantern that, let me just pan the camera down a little bit. A lantern that is brass and nickel plated, which gives it corrosion resistance over the standard steel that they used to use. I believe even this little cap on the top is steel. I'm putting it in my pocket because if it drops between the floorboards of the porch here, I'm going to be in a world of hurt. The bail goes in differently than most modern Colemans. It has just spring-loaded. We're looking at a stainless steel bail. You can see the ventilator in perfect shape. Green with black, painted black inside. There's no evidence of any soot, no evidence this was ever used. And there we go. The light is getting a little weird. It's kind of adjusting to what it thinks is the best. This is the original globe. Pyrex, made in USA, for Coleman. This lantern, like I said, is a 1963 lantern. I came across it in about 1993. And as we go through this video, interspersed there'll be some other still shots that I took inside. I've been trying to do some videos. The house had some flooding and damage in the kitchen where I did a lot of videos, and the outside still loaded with some kitchen cabinets and stuff because of cabinet damage. Anyway, here the what they call the globe cage. This is all stainless steel. The burner is ceramic, and we've got brass pieces which have got a little patina over time, but there's no evidence that there's ever been any fire in this thing. The only thing I've done to it is I put a few drops of oil so I could get some air pressure in the tank, but these, I don't know how well you can see it. This is about as nice as, well, it's the only one I've ever seen. And I picked it up because I was like, well, it looks really cool. Maybe I'll use it. And that was a mere 30 years ago, and I've never used it. And I'm not going to. This is a collector piece, and this is for a collector. I've got a couple of users. I've got two Coleman lanterns from about 71 and 73, I believe, and I recently picked up a Coleman powerhouse from 1990, which after 1990 they started calling them dual fuel, and rather than having a dial that you open it up and then turn it all the way up for high, the dual fuel has a low setting and a high setting. I find it burns better on the high setting, but this is definitely something a little different. Let's see if, I don't know if this will show up any better for you if I put some, it's not showing up better if I put light on it. So Sheldon Coleman, he was the son of William Coffin Coleman, who started the company. Sheldon took over as president in 1951, and he lived until 1982. And I just don't think there's a whole lot of the presentation lanterns that were made, but the 202 itself was considered and is a very high quality piece because of the stainless steel, the brass, the nickel plating, and the nice nickel plated font. The engraving one side, Coleman, bringing sun to the night and all that, and then the other side was usually would just have a Coleman sticker on it. And this one, instead of the sticker, is the area where they did the engraving. And these were built, like I said, from 1954 to 1964, and they're, well, I mean, today is the very second to the last day of September in 2023. This is stamped October of 63, and I don't know if I was able to show you that. What I'm going to do here before I drop anything, put this back on the top. And the date, let's see. Okay, the date's down here. Right by my thumb is the 63. I'm going to turn it. Don't know how well you can see it. And right over here is the 10. So this is right at 60 years old, never been used, a pretty rare piece. And because I use all my Coleman lanterns and stoves and griddles and things like that, I just thought that it just didn't make sense for me to hold on to this. And it really belongs in somebody's collection who collects them. And I pretty much, like I say, just use them. So this is going to be adopted out to a gentleman up in New York. And I wanted to get a video of it before it left my possession. because you know, in probably 30 years and 4 or 5 months, it's the only one I've seen, and I doubt if I'm going to see another one in the next 30 years. By luck, I'd have to go looking for one. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. If you've got any comments or questions, please send them to me. Oh, also please hit like if you like the video. That helps with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe. I've got a couple more Coleman videos coming up, and I've got a lot more assorted videos coming up now that the weather has cooled down and that the house is getting put back together, and I'm should be able to get out to the range here in the next week or two, depending on if we have a government shutdown, because it is a public range on an Army base. Thanks again. Appreciate it as always, and see you later.